Close your eyes for a moment. Place one hand on your chest. Feel it rise and fall. Notice how your breath changes when I say this. Right now, in this moment, nothing is actually wrong. Your body is here, your breath is flowing. The crisis you're carrying exists only in your mind's projection of what might happen next. Open your eyes. That gap you just felt, that's where the immovable mind lives. The samurai called it Fudoshin, the mind that cannot be moved. Not because it's hard or rigid, but because it's rooted so deeply that the storms of circumstance cannot shake it. This isn't about being tough, it's about being still. There's a story about a young swordsman named Takeshi who trained under a master in the mountains of feudal Japan. Takeshi was talented, his technique was flawless, but he had one fatal weakness. The moment pressure arrived, the moment an opponent attacked with killing intent, his mind scattered like leaves in wind. His hands would tremble, his breath would catch. His master watched this happen again and again during sparring. One day, after Takeshi froze for the third time that morning, the master called him over. He didn't offer correction or criticism. He simply said, "Walk with me." They walked in silence to a cliff edge overlooking a valley. The master stood at the very edge, toes hanging over open air. He gestured for Takeshi to join him. The young swordsman's legs locked, his heart hammered. The master remained perfectly still, breathing normally, face calm. He wasn't performing bravery, he was simply there. After a long moment, he stepped back and looked at Takeshi. Your enemy isn't the opponent across from you. Your enemy is the gap between what is happening and what you think is happening. Right now, you think you're about to fall, but you're standing on solid ground 3 steps from the edge. Your mind created the fall before your body moved an inch. Have you felt this in your own life? The moment when your mind runs ahead of reality and creates the crisis before it arrives. Share your experience in the comments below. I read every single one and often find the teaching I missed in your reflections. That night, the master gave Takeshi a practice. Not a sword technique, not a meditation, something simpler and more difficult. Every morning before training, Takeshi was to sit facing a wall and count his breaths. 1 inhale, 1 exhale, that's 1. The next breath, 2. If his mind wandered, if he lost count, he started over. The goal was to reach 10, just 10 breaths without his mind leaving. Takeshi thought this was a waste of time. He was training to be a warrior, not a monk, but he obeyed. The first morning, he couldn't reach 3 without his mind jumping to worry about the day's training, about his failures, about what others thought of him. He started over. Again. 20 minutes passed before. He reached 10. The second morning was no better. The third morning, something shifted. Around breath number 7, he noticed his jaw was clenched. He hadn't realized he'd been holding tension there. He softened it. The next breath came easier. If this teaching is landing, leave a like so others who need this can find it. Your engagement is how these principles spread. 2 weeks into this practice, Takeshi noticed something during sword training. When his opponent attacked, there was a microsecond before his old panic pattern kicked in. In that microsecond, he could feel his breath. He could choose his response instead of being hijacked by reaction. It wasn't that fear disappeared. It was that fear became information instead of instruction. His master saw the change immediately. Your sword is moving from your center now, not from your panic. You're beginning to touch Fudoshin, but the real test came 3 months later. A Ronin, a masterless samurai, arrived at the school and challenged the students to duels. This was common practice, a way for wandering warriors to test themselves and build reputation. The Ronin was older, scarred, with eyes that had seen real combat. He wasn't there to teach, he was there to win. Takeshi's turn came. As he bowed and took his stance, he felt the old terror rising. His hands wanted to shake. His breath wanted to catch. But then, something his master had said returned to him. The immovable mind doesn't mean you feel no fear. It means fear cannot move you from your center. Takeshi took one conscious breath. He felt his feet on the ground. He noticed the weight of the wooden sword in his hands. He saw the Ronin across from him, not as a threat to be destroyed, but as a circumstance to respond to. When the Ronin attacked, Takeshi's body moved without his mind interfering. Block, step, counter. The exchange lasted only seconds. Takeshi's sword stopped an inch from the Ronin's throat. The older warrior smiled, stepped back, and bowed deeply. "You have a good teacher," he said. That evening, Takeshi asked his master, "How do I keep this? How do I make sure I don't lose what I found today?" The master's answer was simple. You don't keep it, you return to it. Fudoshin isn't a destination, it's a practice of returning. Every morning you sit and count your breaths. Every moment of pressure, you feel your feet on the ground. Every time your mind runs ahead into disaster, you bring it back to what is actually happening right now. The immovable mind isn't about never being moved. It's about knowing how to return to center after you've been moved. This is what modern life doesn't teach us. We are told to push through, to be strong, to never show weakness. But the samurai understood something deeper. Strength isn't about being unmoved. It's about having a place to return to. Your center isn't a feeling, it's a practice. When everything falls apart around you, when the crisis hits, when the pressure mounts, you don't need to be a different person. You just need to know how to return. The practice is almost embarrassingly simple. In the morning, before you check your phone, before you enter the chaos of your day, sit for 5 minutes. Count 10 breaths. When you lose count, start over. That's it. No special cushion needed. No perfect silence required. Just you and your breath, and the practice of noticing when your mind leaves and bringing it back. During the day, when you feel pressure rising, when your heart starts to race, when your mind begins spinning disaster scenarios, pause. Feel your feet on the ground. Take one conscious breath. Ask yourself what is actually happening right now, not what might happen, not what you're afraid of, what is actually true in this moment. This isn't about controlling your emotions. It's about not being controlled by them. The samurai didn't train to feel nothing. They trained to feel everything and remain functional anyway. That's the immovable mind. Not absence of fear, but fear that cannot dictate your actions. What practice will you begin tomorrow to build your own Fudoshin? Tell me in the comments. Your commitment often clarifies what I couldn't articulate, and it helps others see what's possible. There's one more thing Takeshi's master told him years later, after Takeshi had become a respected swordsman himself. He said, "The immovable mind isn't about you being special or superior. It's about being fully human. Animals react. Humans can respond. The gap between stimulus and response, that's where your power lives. That's where you're free. Most people never find that gap because they never practice looking for it. You have, that makes all the difference." If you found value in this teaching, subscribe to continue this journey together. It helps others discover this path when they need it most. Start tomorrow, 5 minutes, 10 breaths, return to center. The world will still have its chaos, but you'll have your ground. That's not everything, but it's enough. The immovable mind isn't waiting for perfect conditions. It's built in the returning every single day, one breath at a time. This is the way.